Or
actually.
how about like what are some of my favorite biggest what if players and yours?
Okay, sure. You
Yeah.
want to start with yours, or you want me?
Um, I can start, I guess. One was that we both talked about was Brendan Roy.
Yep, Brandon Moore.
Brendan Roy is a huge what if because the guy before his injuries was one of the most amazing players I've seen. Post 2000.
Yep.
Post 2000, he was one of the few players that reminded me of the old school players, especially the group of players from the late 80s and early 90s. Up till about maybe 95, 96.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, roughly when you get to about 96, that's the end of the crop. Because after around 96 or so, a lot of players, the star players, started coming up from high school. And then you had guys who were less polished and less skilled because they never played in college. But Brandon Roy reminded me more of the old school players who came in NBA ready because they actually played through college and they learned a lot of skills.
They have the fundamentals, basketball IQ.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because he already had the talent and the athleticism, but he had the basketball IQ. He reminded me a little bit of Penny Hardaway back in the day.
Okay. Is that another what if player for you?
Huge what if player. But with Penny, you can see right away how great the guy is. But one reason was also he was able to play with Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was matching with Shaq, they were contenders. And so we already saw how good this guy could be, but he would be even better, obviously, if he didn't have the injuries.
Yep.
Brendan Roy is very similar to that. Brendan Roy, Penny Hardaway, these two guys, they had such high basketball IQs. They can both score, but they can both pass and make great plays. And they're both so good on the pick and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Just very similar. And they're always under control. Both Brendan Roy and Penny Hardaway always played under control. Like they would never go wild, like go 1-on-1 and then chuck a dumb fadeaway jump shot, with like 10 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
they don't do that. When I watch them play, every single decision that they make off the pick is actually correct. Like should I take this shot right now or should I drive in and draw a foul? Should I go in halfway, do a pump fake, get you in the air?
Mm-hmm.
Are you hugging me too tight? You're hugging me too tight. Should I drive part way and then do a little pump fake and get you up there and then draw a foul and do an and one on you?
Mm-hmm.
Or should I just go in and just make a pass off the pick depending on how the defense collapses? They always make a good decision almost every single time. Every possession is a good decision.
Yep.
When you're watching Penny or Brendan Roy play, it's always like that. That's why back when Roy, before he was injured, most teams, I find they had such a tough time guarding him. I find they had a tougher time guarding Brendan Roy
Then Kobe.
than Kobe.
Yeah.
Because with Kobe, what happens is Kobe's game is always a dual-edged sword. His ability to take tough shots
Mm-hmm.
could help you out sometimes, but the problem with Kobe is he falls in love with it too much. So it also becomes a con as well. It's a pro sometimes when you use it selectively when your team has absolutely nothing left and there's only a few seconds left. But the problem is Kobe also uses it as his main weapon when you don't really need it and it's a low percentage shot. And he does it when you have other options or instead of working the ball around or when there's still a lot of time on the clock and he's still taking a shot like that. And that's where defenses realize, that's where Kobe's giving a break to the defense, the opposing team's defense. He's making it easier for them because he's taking a low percentage shot and just giving the defense a break. And then they don't even need to double team that. Like why double team a fadeaway jump shot? So they don't even need to double team the guy. So they just play him 1-on-1, put Tayshaun on the guy, play him 1-on-1, and just let him take the fadeaway jump shot, and that's it. He's not going to get into the seams.
I think some people are too, maybe a lot of casual fans are too enamored with the way Kobe plays and his mindset rather than the actual results of how he played, right? So that's why you got people saying, oh, LeBron made the right basketball play, but we wanted him to shoot at the last moment, even though he probably wouldn't make it, right? Because he passes to Danny Green, he shouldn't have passed to Danny Green.
And there's no reason to shoot that shot
So the thing is, they wanted him to be like Kobe, who would shoot the shot no matter what. But the thing is, the actual results most of the time for Kobe is actually he probably missed, right? Yep. So I think people just they're enamored with the mindset that he had rather than the actual results of his.
And it's only
play.
certain aspects of the mindset too. The problem is not all of the way he plays. The mindset is actually good. For example, hogging the ball too much, taking too many bad shots that are too early in the shot clock, and not passing the ball around and not working the ball around, and also not driving when you should. For example, Kobe's taking a lot of fadeaway jump shots, but he's not drawing that much contact by driving inside, which is not good. At least with LeBron, he's actually pounding into the paint all the time and then drawing fouls and putting the pressure on the other team's defense instead of settling for jump shots. LeBron can take a mid-range fadeaway shot anytime he wants, But if you watch him in this playoffs, he can take those fadeaways anytime he wants. But he knows what his bread and butter is. He's actually playing the game from a mental standpoint where he's thinking, well, you know what? Why not get the high percentage 2 and potentially draw a foul when it's there? And I'll only take those fadeaways and those jump shots when there's nothing left. Absolutely nothing left.
Yep.
Right? And that's the way LeBron plays. And he's reading what the defense is giving him until every last option. And the guy pretty much has the percentages mapped out most of the time in terms of what defense is in front of me, what are they trying to give me, and what are my only options in this situation among driving, mid-range, 3, making a play, drawing people, defenders into me, making a pass. What are my options here? LeBron has all the options mapped out when he's playing.
Yep.
It's just like that's what makes LeBron so special. And he's not just going to take a fadeaway shot because just for the sake of taking a fadeaway shot, which is what Kobe tends to do all the time. He's actually not thinking about all the options, but he's much more used to being a one-on-one player because he's never played in college before. He's always played. He dominate when you're a guy 6'7" like Kobe with his talent, or like Kevin Garnett with his talent, or Tracy McGrady with their talent, and you never went to college. You only played in high school. Physically, you're going to be so much more better than than the competition that you don't even need to learn how to play proper team basketball. All you have to do is just get the ball to you, and there's nothing the other team can do. So you're so used to just being everything is about you and just playing one-on-one all the time that you didn't have to learn all the fundamentals, the stuff that you see Tim Duncan has, the stuff that Brandon Roy has, the stuff that Michael Jordan had, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, all these guys were NBA ready coming in from a mental standpoint and knowing how to play team basketball, how to move without the ball, how to set screens and for your teammates. But not only that, how to set screens for your teammate, but use the setting of that screen to even open yourself up for an open shot afterwards. Things like that is stuff that you learn through college because the competition is better in college from a physical and mental standpoint. So now you're forced to actually pass the ball around and learn how to play in a system. Whereas in high school, the competition is so much more lower from a physical and mental standpoint that technically speaking, these guys can just get the ball, dominate, don't have to worry about passing the ball around. And as a result, they get all these bad habits, which is why as a result, Kobe's more focused on just taking these fadeaway jump shots and playing one-on-one and not so much the team game. Something that you see Brandon Roy has when he's playing pick and roll all the time, he's always making the right decision. LeBron, now he never went to college, but LeBron naturally has that basketball IQ, and that's just something he was blessed with and he was born with, that along with his physical stature. So he has everything mapped out in terms of, there's this one play I still remember at the end of Game 5 against Miami in the finals this year. LeBron, near the end, he made a drive to the left side into the basket, and he got an and one foul on it near the end. And he drove on the left side. If you watch that play again, when I watched that play, I was like, wow. Because literally, that was all the defense was giving him. The defense was not giving him, if you actually watch that play again, the defense wasn't giving him anything else there, except for the left-handed drive to the left lane to force him to go left. But they weren't even giving him a jump shot to the left. Because LeBron actually likes to pull up for the jump shot to the left. Miami knows that. They won't even give him a jump shot pull up on the left. They were just giving him a drive on the left. Because they think LeBron probably likes to drive on the right and he likes to pull for a jump shot on the left. But they're like, we're not giving you any of this. All the entire 5 guys on defense for Miami was just going to give him that one left lane penetration to the paint, and that's it. And they're going to close in on him afterwards. And he knew that. And he saw that. But he ended up taking it, and he still got an and one, got a foul, near the end, and that's just a testament to an IQ, to what his IQ is. That's all. When you play LeBron, you're pretty much picking your poison. Do we make him a passer? Do we make him a shooter? Do we make him a penetrator, or do we make it so that he's playing in the post? He's not playing in the post as much this year because he's trying to give AD opportunities as well, but in years past, when it was all LeBron, like back in Cleveland, he was a post guy, he was a drive guy, he was the passer, he was the shooting guy, he was everything. This year, the only thing that he didn't have to do as much was the post because AD's there, But then he was still doing all 3. like if you're watching this year. But
yeah, so LeBron's kind of an exception, but I think in general, like the NBA implemented the one and done rule. So like now, no high school players can really just come straight out of high school, which is like you said, because most of them are kind of raw. Tracy McGrady, Kobe, Dwight Howard, right, came straight out of high school, a little bit raw. LeBron's kind of a special exception though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even with LeBron, you can tell that I think he suffered a little bit from not going to college. From the basketball IQ standpoint, no. Basketball IQ standpoint, LeBron is pretty much special in that situation. But I think the things that he could have picked up on was maybe the small things, like the fundamental skills, like the fundamental stuff, like the ball handling and the shot form, the footwork. You know, how to improve your ball handling more, or how to keep your elbows in on the jump shot. I'm pretty sure that's something that you should have learned in high school already. But I guess it was just a habit of his. But I think those little things may have even improved a little bit more if he actually did go to college. But his main basketball IQ and floor vision is already legendary. So that's something he didn't have to. He was born with that. Kobe's the opposite. Kobe, he has the ball handling, you know, and he has some of the footwork. But he doesn't have the basketball IQ or the vision and just the moving off of the ball and knowing how to play team basketball. And that's the part that's lacking for Kobe because he never played in college. And that's the part that's lacking for most guys. You know, Kevin Garnett, Tracy McGrady. They all lack that. Even if you watch Durant play, Durant only played 1 year pretty much in college. And even then you can tell he's missing something in his game. He's a great shooter. He's got that fundamentals. But in terms of a team game aspect, I find that Durant doesn't really have as much of a high basketball IQ in terms of his team game, his floor game sometimes. You know, so that's something I think if you stay in college longer, he probably would have gotten a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but Brandon Roy.
Back to Brandon Roy versus Penny Hardaway. Both of them had about 3 years of like really good prime years. 3 good years. Do you go, like, which one do you think, like, if they actually played out their career, which one would have been better?
They're both pretty amazing when I watched, but I would say if I really had to pick, maybe Penny would have even just a bit more upside than Brandon Roy. I think Penny was just a touch more upside. It's pretty close though, but we have to factor in a few things. We have to factor in the fact that Penny played in a much tougher defensive era. So Penny did all his stuff against hand checking. You know, he did it all against hand checking. He did it all against tougher interior defense. He did it all against
one of the few guys to ever beat Jordan in the 90s in the playoffs.
Exactly. So you have to factor in the era that Penny did it in. He did it against a much tougher defensive era. You know, tougher interior defense, tougher exterior outside defense all across. So if I had to choose, probably Penny. But at the same time, both players were pretty amazing. Also, from an offensive standpoint, I think Penny had everything that Brandon Roy had, but I think Penny still had one little extra gear, just a little bit more. One example was I think Penny is a little bit better in the post than Brandon Roy was, because Penny can actually post you up as well, and he has some deceiving footwork in the post, where he can suddenly just go left and right, juke you in the post, and just spin right around you all of a sudden. I don't think Roy has as much of a post game that Penny had. Penny was also probably a little bit lengthier, probably a little bit longer, a little bit lengthier. Penny's about 6'7" or so. And I think Penny also, Brandon Roy was a great passer, but Penny also had he was almost a pure point guard in terms of his passing ability.
People called him like the next Magic because he has his size at his position and his floor vision comparable, right?
Honestly, if Penny was never injured, he would have been the second greatest point guard of all time. Literally.
Interesting.
Literally. There's nothing else that can come close to that. Because we're talking to a guy that is 6'7" with athleticism, that can score like Jordan sometimes, but pass the ball as good as I've seen anybody do. But he has the IQ to meld the scoring, the jump shot, the driving, the post, and the passing all seamlessly in one. Like, because he's got that IQ, he plays in a flow with all those skills. Like, he's got some stuff that even Magic didn't have. Like, Penny is a little bit better defender than Magic was. Penny is more athletic and quicker than Magic was. Penny might even be a better shooter from certain spots than Magic was. And Penny was better at getting the jump shot off of the dribble than Magic was. But Magic was better at just moving the ball up court really fast.
Yep. Fast break.
Yeah,
yep.
Really good at moving the ball up court really fast. Penny was great at that, but Magic was just special when he was doing that. Also, I think Magic, when he was posting, Magic's a little bit bigger. Magic's 6'9",
yep.
And Magic really knows how to really back a guy down and then draw contact. And then after that, when he backs a guy down, spins in, uses his size. He's got that running hook shot.
Yep.
Yeah. That running hook shot was really nice with Magic too. And
yep, from Kareem, yep.
Yeah, from Kareem pretty much. And if you really want to compare, I also think that Magic is the better leader. So that's one intangible that I think Magic has over Penny.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying Penny's not a leader, but I think Magic's a born leader.
Yep.
Magic, since he was young, was a born leader. He came in ready to lead right away. I think Penny wasn't quite ready for that. And I think along the way, both Penny and Shaq made some mistakes. Whether it's leaders or whether it's teammates, they made some mistakes and they had to learn. Magic came in ready to be a great teammate and a great leader. So I think that's the one thing why I would still put Magic as the best point guard ever. Okay. But Penny, with just the pure skills though, the raw skills that he has and fundamentals, he would easily take the second best point guard of all time.
Wow. Okay.
Easily. Like, if you think about it, who else is there in the history of the NBA that can challenge a Penny if he wasn't never injured? I mean, Chris Paul is a lot shorter. And,
hard to say.
I mean, a lot of these other point guards are either too short or whatever. Penny had it all. And he can play some defense.
Yeah. Probably there's been two really pivotal big point guards. One was Oscar Robertson, who's kind of the pioneering big point guard, and then Magic after him, right? So Penny would have been like the third, right?
Right.
So, yeah, very few players like that.
Right.